Okay, welcome to part 2 of lecture 10. Now we're going to talk about resource scheduling. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's suppose that at this Nimitz coffee bar, the workers work a full day, and there's 3 of them. They each have a half-hour break for lunch during the workday, but in order to keep it running, they're going to take their break at different times. So here's the work schedule. So basically, from 7 to 11:30, you have 3 workers, but 11:30 to 1, that's when the 3 workers are each taking their lunch breaks over the hour and a half. There's 3 of them, so that's an hour and a half of lunch breaks. So during that time, there's only 2 workers. So how do we incorporate this into the scheduling? So here, we're going to remember that we had switched it up so that the baristas were now a resource. And so we have to, and we had the baristas, we had modeled that as a variable that we varied depending on the experiment we were running. So that's what we're going to have to change here. Okay. So we're going to change the type to a work schedule, and then we have to create a data table. I don't know if it was clear in the previous part, but the way we do that is we have to back out, and remember we were in the facility part, but we actually we have to be in this data part to load these tables. Okay. So before we did a rate table. That was this button. Now we're going to do a work schedule table. Okay, so that's what we have to click here. When you do that, when you click over there, you're going to see there's a date. There's this day patterns, and it says a standard day. The description is a standard 8 to 5 work day, and we're gonna we're going to populate this table with the times that we had from there. So there's a start period, 7 a.m. We tell how long the duration is. Remember that went to 11:30. Then it goes from 11:30 to 1. And then from 1, it went to 1 to 3. And so and then we put in the values here for the number of workers and cost multipliers over here. Of course, we don't really care about cost multipliers in this particular model. You will in, of course, your barbecue pit model. Here we don't. Okay, and now we have our standard week. Okay, so now we have a schedule. So now we can go back here and we just click on standard week, right? That's the name of this table. And so for the work schedule, in this field, that's what you have to type, and it'll allow you to populate that, it'll auto-complete it. And that's how we incorporate that. Okay, so now here on the coffee station, we also have to make sure that the capacity type there is a work schedule and it follows the standard week. Remember, the baristas, that varies the resource, but we also have to make sure there's enough room for all of our baristas to work at the coffee station. Okay, so that's what we have to do there. And then we have to update our time. Okay, so we have to make sure that we go up here and update the time of the model so that it matches the work schedule we have, right? Right now it's starting at 12 midnight and going for 8 hours. Well, if we kept it there, that would be modeling it incorrectly, because we wouldn't even have any workers until 7 hours after the time started. So we have to make sure that that's reflected and it starts actually at 7 a.m. so that the time is correct.